Ready for the college season? Yes, we are. Ready for the NFL season? We are that as well. And for that, we've asked Chris Canty to put together 5 bold predictions, things he sees coming up in pro football in 2022, and it begins in the NFC East.
Absolutely. A division I spent 8 years of my playing career in, Greeny. I know the Dallas Cowboys are the favorite to win the division, but I'm picking the Philadelphia Eagles to win the NFC East. Yes, I'm doing it. I love what they're doing on the defensive side of the ball. It was a top 10 unit that only got stronger. They added Hassan Reddick, a double-digit sack guy. They added James Bradbury. They drafted Jordan Davis in the first round, not to mention his college teammate Nakobe Dean in the third round. It's a defense that's only getting better. They have the best offensive line in all of football. And, oh, by the way, they traded for a number 1 receiver for Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown. Philadelphia Eagles run away with the NFC East. Keeping it moving, number 4, we have Malik Willis taking over the starting job for the Tennessee Titans at some point this season. Listen, Ryan Tannehill last year in the playoffs, his first pass against the Bengals was a pick. His first pass in the second half was a pick, and he ended the game throwing an interception. At some point, it gives way to Malik Willis. We saw the dominant traits from college translate to the NFL in his first preseason action. And Greeny, could you imagine the zone running scheme with Malik Willis and Derrick Henry? Good night. Keeping it pushing at number 3, Brandon Staley won't be the head coach of the Chargers in 2023. This is going to be his last season as the head coach. And I get that this is only his second year with the Chargers, but you've already heard overtures that Sean Payton would be interested in this job. Justin Herbert is one of the very best quarterbacks in the National Football League, and the game management, specifically the gambles that Brandon Staley takes in a winning end game in Week 18 against the Raiders, he decided in the third quarter, down by 3 points, to go for it on his own 18-yard line, ends up getting stopped. That translates into a field goal for the Raiders. And, oh, by the way, the Raiders ended up winning that game in overtime by 3 points. Number 2, the Rams missed the playoffs. What? Yes, I said it. What? The defending champs are going to miss the playoffs. You got a quarterback who's had an elbow injury that's still bothering him since last year. Matt Stafford, no timeline on when he's going to get back, a top-heavy roster. If Matt Stafford can't be the explosive player that he showed he can be in the passing game last year, then the Rams have no shot of not only repeating as champs, but actually winning their division and getting into the playoffs. So yes, I got it. The defending champs missing the playoffs. It's happened 3 times in the last decade. I'm predicting that this is going to be the 4th. And the number 1 bold prediction, if you haven't heard me say it before, I'm going to say it again for the people in the back. The 49ers are going to the Super Bowl. They will represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. I believe in Trey Lance. More importantly, I believe in Kyle Shanahan getting the most out of the players on this team. They have a really good offensive line, a top 5 run game, a top 5 skill position core, and a top 5 defense. All of the pieces are in place for the 49ers not only to win their division, but actually do damage once they get into the postseason.
All right, so can I just say 2 things? First and foremost, that is an excellent list. Those are 5 phenomenally bold. Usually I ask for bold predictions and they come back and they're not so bold. These are bold and excellent and interesting and thought-provoking, every single one. But let's focus on numbers 2 and 1, which is in that NFC West, which is an excellent division. The Rams, the defending Super Bowl champs, out. The 49ers in and making that deep run behind the young quarterback. So many people so high on Trey Lance. Sam Acho, are you that level of high on the 49ers and their young QB as my man Canty is?
Yeah, I'm high on the 49ers and that young QB. I'm not high on this list. Brandon Staley being out after year 2, I think is ridiculous. Malik Willis starting maybe like late in the season injury. Yes, San Francisco has a dominant roster all across the board. Defensively, they're one of the top defenses. And so DeMeco Ryans doing a great job on the back end. You've signed back the players you needed to sign back. And so I'm high on the 49ers, but I still think the Rams, adding Allen Robinson, adding Bobby Wagner, this is to Cooper Kupp and to Aaron Donald, you already have weapons, and then Matthew Stafford. I still like the Rams in the NFC. But all that being said, I like the 49ers. List I'm sleeping on.
I love your list. He's just shilling ins or catnip. Pay no attention to him whatsoever. All right, so let's do this. So we got the 49ers is Canty's pick to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. Let's see what everyone else thinks. Brooke, I'll start with you. Who is your pick right now, at this moment, Who's going to win the NFC and go to the Super Bowl?
Even with Brady's unexplained absence, excused absence, I'm going with the Bucs. To me, it's still the Bucs and everybody else. And some of the top teams in the NFC have huge question marks, like the Packers. I still have question marks with the 49ers. I'm going with the Bucs. They have the fewest question marks, and the one big one that they have, I think, will be answered once he comes back.
All right, Sacho just gave us his, which is the Rams. He still has the Rams going back to the Super Bowl as we move through this relatively quickly. How about you, Mike T? Who's your pick?
Mine is also the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and it's firmly etched in pencil, assuming that Tom Brady comes back sooner than later. But they also are going to have the Coach of the Year in Todd Bowles, who's a big upgrade over Bruce Arians. I've worked with Coach Bowles before. I think he's going to have a great second sort of chapter as a head coach in the NFL. He did a better job than people realized at the Jets, and they're in great hands with him, and that defense has a chance to be top 5.
Yeah, look, I think all picks in the NFC are in pencil, and I wanted so desperately to go out on some sort of a limb here and pick a team like the Eagles or something like that, but at the end of the day, there's only one hard, fast rule. If the question is about the Super Bowl, the answer is Tom Brady. So there's no way I can pick against him at this point, but I agree with Tannenbaum. It is etched in pencil. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.